Okay, so let's switch over to the crypto space now, where Ladi is standing by. Hi, Ladi.
Hi, Annie. Well, it's still extreme fear in this market, but we're still seeing, improvement inching, back to that greed level gradually. It's happening gradually, but it's actually happening in the market right now, because for the longest time, we're at about 10 to 12 points extreme fear. We even went below 10 points, at some point, but now
I think you had a little bit of
34.
setback yesterday at some point.
Yeah, and there's a huge setback this morning. We're seeing the price of Bitcoin actually tumble yesterday because the good old Elon Musk, again, back in the news, Tesla selling most of its Bitcoin holdings, and we saw that impacted the market. All those traders there, retail traders, follow that trend, selling off at this point, and we saw a pullback with the market cap by 4.48%. Volume traded is down also 2.45% this morning. Bitcoin dominance sits at 42.68%. Bitcoin was already playing over the $23,000 level yesterday, but now we saw that pullback. It's trading at $22,873 this morning, down 0.58%. We see volume traded $43.65 billion. Ethereum wasn't left out too. It lost that $1,500 mark. It's down 0.96%. Volume traded $23.47 billion. So we're seeing, pullbacks across the market with altcoins and Bitcoin. Once Bitcoin gets volatile, we'll see, the altcoins actually pulling back at the same time. All right, let's bring in Amaury Sechet now, eCash creator, join us to have a conversation about central bank digital currencies. Great to have you, Amaury.
Hey, good to be here.
Great to have you. So there is that debate about central bank digital currencies. Some are saying it's good for, financial inclusion, but some are also talking about risk. What do you see?
Yeah, I see this as a very risky move. Obviously, it's good for the central bank, but I don't think it's good for anyone else, really, even for the banks. The central bank digital currency give a level of control to the central bank that have never been seen at any point in history over the money, right? And we all know, money is pretty important. So that's a scary, that's a scary thought. Think about it. In April, for instance, in Nigeria, people were locked out of their mobile phone because of, various reasons by official. Imagine, they could do the same with your money. And not just with your bank account, but with money in general. You cannot use money. That means you cannot pay your rent, you cannot buy food, right? So you're effectively a pariah. And you can be turned into one, without any due process really, and in no time, instantly from 1 minute to the next. So, that's a power I don't think anyone should have. That's a very dangerous power.
But with fiat, the central bank still has control. They can also, shut you out from, bank accounts and all of that. But the central bank digital currency...
But you can use... Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, you can carry on.
You can use cash, you can use another bank, right? If you are excluded from the CDBC, that's done. You cannot use anything else.
So at some point, fiat and CBDCs are supposed to, work together. Are you saying at some point we won't see fiat anymore? It will just be central bank digital currencies?
Yeah, at least that's the goal from the, central bank's perspective.
But is that actually achievable? Is it achievable?
Whether the public accepts that or not is remains to be seen. But this is where this is going, and we already see that in some country like China, for instance. So the Chinese people, they let it happen, or maybe they didn't have a choice because China is not so democratic. So this is happening in China now. It's up to us to decide, everyone in their own country needs to decide if they want that to happen. But I don't think this is a good thing for freedom in general.
But right now we're seeing, struggle with adoption of central bank digital currencies. Most citizens are not using it as, the central bankers would actually expect. Do you see that changing at some point?
Yes, it's, money is tied with people's habits, so it's going to take many years. But, government and central bank are very patient. They can move that, step by step over the next 10 years or even 20 years. And, from So for instance, from the time we went out of the gold standard, it was in the 70s, right? To the time right now where we see interest rate that goes through the floor, even negative, and crazy inflation cycles and stuff like that. It took almost 50 years, and people in the 70s, they were warning about that when we went off the gold standard, and nobody took them seriously because it didn't happen immediately. But eventually this is what happened. Central banks, government, this kind of institution, they have all the time in the world, right? But you need to be thinking, especially if you have a family, right? You need to be thinking about the world that you're going to be living in. And, if we are not concerned about that, our children, they won't have the freedom that we do. We can see in some countries like Sweden, for instance, cash is almost gone. Yeah, like you cannot pay in most places in cash in Sweden.
Right.
And this is going to come to more and more countries over time, unless, we push back against this.
Well, the evolution of money continues at this point. It's been interesting to see what money will be like in about, say, 20 years. Thank you so much, Amaury Sechet, eCash creator. All right, so you heard it there. It's some see risk, when it comes to central bank digital currencies. Some see benefits there, but that debate still, carries on, in the crypto industry, because at the end of the day, Bitcoin, brought about central bank digital currencies anyway.
Yes, it did. And as Amaury Sechet has said, it does have its own downside also. Imagine the central bank just locks you out and there's nothing you can do about it.
Yeah, you can't get any cash or digital money.
We'll certainly see what the future of money looks like.
It'll be very interesting to see.
All right.